Welcome back friends. In this video we are going to discuss about transport in plants. In the last session we have discussed about transportation in human beings. That is the circulatory system. How the blood circulates throughout the body and supplies oxygen as well as nutrients to each and every part of the tissue, that is cells. So here in the case of plants, there is no such organs, special organs like heart for pumping of the blood of the nutrients. Okay, here they will be following the different mechanism through which the transportation occurs. So in the case of plants, if you see, only with the help of diffusion it cannot transport water and minerals to all parts of the plants, because in the case of small grasses or small plants it is possible, but in the case of large trees like high trees which is present in the forest, it is very difficult to transport all the things with that simple diffusion. So how they are going to transport, how they will transport, I will be explaining now. Now before going into that, from where the nutrition, where the minerals will be taken up by the plants. So usually the minerals as well as water will be present in the soil. So from the soil only the plants has to take maximum amount of nutrients, that minerals as well as water. So how they will be taking, so which is very close to the soil in the case of plants. So roots, you can see here roots are the close contact with the soil. So with the help of the roots only they will be absorbing the water as well as minerals, and they will be supplying to all parts of the plants. So how they supply, so they have special tissue, that is complex tissue called as xylem tissue. So xylem is a vascular tissue. So this vascular tissue consists, whereas in the case of algae, that preliminary organs, preliminary plants, in those algae and smaller plants, we cannot find these vascular tissues. Only in well developed plants only you can find this vascular tissues. In algae you cannot find this vascular tissue. So here the xylem is called as vascular tissue. They will be helping in the transportation of minerals as well as water which is taken up from the soil through the help of root pressure as well as the process called as transpiration. Okay, now what happens throughout the plant, in the stem as well as leaf. In the case of leaves we have water, so this is called as vein. So the veins will be having what? This xylem tissues will be there. So xylem tissues, in the case vessels will be there, and then you can see that the tracheids will be there. So the tracheids and the cells will be helping in the like the pipe channel will be forming. So like a channel of pipes, they will be forming the tube channel. Through the channel what will happen, the xylem will be transporting all the minerals and water to all parts of the body. So this is from lower to higher. In this direction the xylem will be transporting the water. Okay, so this is unidirectional, this is not bidirectional, only in one direction. So from the atmosphere it cannot take the water and minerals, directly it cannot transport the xylem. Only from the bottom it can transport, so only it is called as unidirectional, only one way. So to all the parts it will be transporting. So now what happens in the plants, in the leaves will be having what? Stomata will be there. Stomatal opening will be there, right? As I already explained in the previous session, stomata will be helping in what? Opening and closing, so that the exchange of gases will be taking place through that. So through the stomatal opening what will happen? The evaporation, the water will be evaporated from the plants with the help of this stomatal opening. So the evaporation of the water, okay, in the form of water vapor, the water will be evaporated through the atmosphere. So that process is called as transpiration. So transpiration means the evaporation of the water through this stomatal opening which is present in the leaves. So what happens? Automatically when the water is evaporated, the suction energy will be produced. The suction will be produced. So what will happen? They will be sucking the water from the bottom through the roots. So that creates some energy. The suction force will be created so that the water from the roots will be transported continuously from here. It will be going like this continuously. The water will be flowing in this direction in the daytime because of the process called as transpiration. So here also evaporation will be taking place. Water vapor will be going out. From here also it will be going. So during night time what will happen? Transpiration will not occur. So during that time what will happen? Root pressure will be there. So the root will be giving some pressure based on the minerals which is present in the cell to cell contact will be there, right? For example, this is the first cell which is in contact with the soil, and this is the second cell. The cells will be going like tube like channel, right? So the contents, the pressure, like the concentration gradient will be different inside the cell and outside the cell. So based on the concentration gradient, some pressure will be created. So when the something more quantity is present inside here, now some pressure will be created, right? So with the help of the pressure, so you will be studying in detail about this in the 11th grade actually. Now it is given like basic only. So the outline only I will be giving here, right? So what happens with the help of the root pressure? Pressure is called as root pressure. So with the help of the root pressure, the water will be transported. But it cannot reach a very height, but a little bit it can manage with the root pressure. After coming in the daytime, through transpiration, the water will be evaporated and the water will be absorbed from the soil. So minerals also will be taken from the soil. Now what happens? The next process, that is called as translocation. So what means translocation? In this case, translocation means the transport of food material which is produced during photosynthesis. So here who will be helping means phloem will be helping. So phloem will be helping for the transportation of the food material which is produced as a result of photosynthesis. So where will be the photosynthesis taking place? Photosynthesis taking place in the leaf. Okay. So in the leaf only we have, so these regions are where, right? So in the laminar region of the leaf, the chlorophyll will be there. So with the help of chlorophyll, the photosynthesis will be taking place. As a result, the starch carbohydrate will be produced. Those starch will be transported through all parts of the body wherever the energy is required, the food is required. So for that, the group of tissue which is helping is called as phloem tissue. This is another vascular tissue. So this will also present in the veins of the leaves as well as stems. Will be having the phloem. Okay, so the detailed structure of the phloem and xylem will be studying in the higher classes. At present they have given only the basic thing how it is transported, which is will be helping. Okay, here the phloem will be helping in the transportation of this food material which is produced here. For example, here the starch materials are produced, so the starch will be entering into the phloem cells. The phloem tube will be the sieve tubes will be there. Through the sieve tubes, what happens? So elements will be there. So the tube-like structure, similar to the xylem, they will be having a tube-like. So there will be continuous tube channel will be formed. Through the channel, the food, the starch will be transported in this direction from the topmost to the bottom. Okay, so this is one direction. So they will be stored in the stems as well as roots, in the fruits. Okay, the food will be stored in the different parts of the plant. Now what happens during spring season or whenever they require, again this food will be transported wherever required. Okay, so initially what happens after the production, the phloem will be transporting to all parts of the plant wherever the energy is required. So there in some places they will be stored. Okay, like storeroom, like that, it will be storing the food material in the form of starch. So later in their life cycle, whenever they require energy, during that time again the food will be transported in the upmost direction. So two directions the transport will be taking place. This is called as bidirectional movement, whereas xylem will be unidirectional, phloem will be bidirectional. So food will be transported with the help of which one? Phloem tissue. Okay, here which will be helping? Here I said right, transpiration will be helping as well as root pressure will be helping. Here in the case of phloem, which will be helping means osmotic pressure. So osmotic pressure will be helping in the transportation of the food materials. So cell to cell pressure will be varying. So from the high pressure to low pressure, what happens? The transportation of materials will be taking place. So what will happen? Example, this is will be like this, right? So initially the starch will be entering here. So due to the pressure, what happens? It will be going to this cell. After due to the pressure, it will be going to this cell. So it will be transported like this due to the osmotic pressure. So regarding this osmotic pressure, root pressure, and the detailed structure will be studying in the higher classes. So this is the overall idea about how the transportation takes place in the plants. So waters and minerals will be transported with the help of xylem, whereas the food material produced by photosynthesis will be transported with the help of phloem. Okay, thank you friends, thank you for watching this video.